She moved on with another guy and got engaged. And now my...
I am the Rod Pedersen Show intern here, Rachel Bishop, and you are about to see my exclusive interview with CBC Olympics host Scott Russell. In the interview, we talked all about his journey, how we got to this point in his career, and what he thinks, where he thinks Olympics go from here in this COVID era. Stay tuned. How did you get from CBC Radio Charlottetown, growing up in Oshawa, to where you are now, like the face of the Olympics in Canada?
I'll tell you what, it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? I went to CBC after graduating from the University of Western Ontario, had a master's degree in journalism. When I went to CBC in Charlottetown, I originally covered the agricultural beat in Charlottetown for the local supper hour television show called Compass. And then what happened was Diana McDonald, who was one of the first female sportscasters in the country, was the sports anchor at CBC Charlottetown. And she left to go to TSN, and that opened up a spot at Charlottetown to be the sports anchor, which I readily went for. And I got that, covered everything from harness racing to local curling to the lobster carnival. It was fantastic. And I went from there. And what happened was I got my first network assignment at CBC to cover the Canada Winter Games in 1987 in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And I went there to cover alpine skiing and cross-country skiing. And the Canada Games was always sort of like the training ground for CBC Network Sports. And if you proved yourself there, there was a chance you might get on with the network. And so I had a great experience in Cape Breton. And soon after that, I moved to Montreal, became the weekend sports anchor there. And that's where I started covering Hockey Night in Canada. And I was there for 5 years. And then got the job at the network full-time in 1992. Wow. And the rest is history.
That's crazy. So you've been working at CBC since before I was even alive. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What's kind of the differences between all those jobs and, being the in-studio host now? What would you say are the biggest challenges in terms of the adjustments, or the biggest differences that you noticed?
Well, being the sideline reporter at the CFL, rinkside reporter at Hockey Night in Canada, and I went on to host the Western shows on Hockey Night in Canada. It was a great proving ground to do the job that I'm doing now, which is the studio host of the Olympic Games. And the reason for that is being on site at the field of play is a huge learning experience, and to have contact with the players and all of the athletes who compete for Canada, because I covered world championships as well. And I was at Lake Louise and called the alpine skiing there. Being on site for a big athletic event, whether it's professional or high performance, amateur, is a great learning experience, because you find out how to relate to the athletes, and you actually get the story and the lay of the land by being there. And so you can translate that when you become a studio host. You actually have credibility because you've been in the field and know what happens close to the field of play. It was a tremendous experience.
More from Scott coming up in a minute. We're going to take a quick break, though. There'll be more when you come back.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, We have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
The Olympics is like your baby, and that's what everyone knows you as. So what is it about the Olympics that you love so much more than these other events? Or maybe you love the other events just as much, I don't know. But what is it about the Olympics that you're so passionate about?
Well, I think the thing is the Olympics are much more than a sporting event. These other events are really based around performance and sport. So whether it be NHL hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's a sporting event. Same with the Grey Cup, the CFL, or the World Championships of whatever sport you want to talk about. The Olympics is tied to something which is called the Olympic movement. There are a set of values attached to it. There's an Olympic ideal, which is to bring the world together in a time of peace to demonstrate what is humanly possible. And the Olympics are open to people of every race, faith, gender, orientation, and circumstance from every geographical region of the world. So the Olympics are a much bigger thing. They're a much more ambitious enterprise. And, I first sort of fell in love with the Olympics when I went to summer camp in Ontario, in Halliburton. And every summer we had the mini Olympics, where, the baseball diamond was all decorated with bunting and torch-bearing runners arrived by the war canoe at the beach and lit the cauldron, which was atop the baseball diamond. And the entire camp was divided into country teams. We built embassies, and there was an opening and closing ceremony. And, it is a spectacle. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about the Olympics. It's a spectacle. It's the greatest recurring spectacle on the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. And there is no event on the earth that is as ambitious as the Olympics and aspires to be all things to all people. And I love it because it's much more than a sporting event. It's an event which is about humanity.
The camp I went to in Muskoka did something similar. It was just with two teams, but it was like lumbermen and voyageurs. It was a similar idea. Yeah, it was really fun. We had like cheers. We had opening campfire, closing campfire. We had leaders as well. Yeah, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, well, I went to a camp called Kilkoo Camp in Halliburton, and the Olympics had been going on at Kilkoo since 1932.
Oh, wow.
And they divided the camp into 5 teams, and it was England and Canada and the United States and Russia, and before that it was South Africa and New Zealand. It was pretty cool, and to hear our director say those famous words of de Coubertin when he said the Olympics are more than about victory; they're about the struggle and the taking part. It was hugely important as I kind of evolved into what I've become today as the Olympic host.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the RP Show pre-show. Once again, I'm Rachel Bishop. Stay tuned. Main events coming up next.
Right now.
Yeah, Rod's not here, so I'm hosting the show.
How about that?
NHL playoffs all week. I still love that intro, Taylor. Every time it plays, it's kind of neat.
It's been a while since you've been in the...
You know what?
For this long.
Yeah, as we welcome you in Monday morning, Rod Pedersen Show. And yes, Darren Dupont hosting. Rod's away for the week, so we'll keep you posted on that. He is out making the world a better place, working on the recovery side and enhancing his knowledge base. So we've got you here all week. And Monday morning, Taylor Shire alongside. So
thanks for having me.
Away we go. But yeah, it has been a while, to the point where I haven't hosted a show since we've been on Game Plus TV. Like, that's the Iron Man streak Rod's on. So it's been a while. It's been, geez, I can't even remember. It's well over a year since I've hosted a show. And you were here one of the days that I did host.
Yeah, I was. I think it was about a year ago.
You did one. John Frenzy and Craig Smith were in for another. So there's only been 3 or 4 shows that Rod hasn't, been a part of in 486 shows. Director Jordan's been on all but one, right? I believe he's got the ultimate Iron Man streak. He's been in all but one, right? Yeah, so there we go. The very first one, and there was
he missed the first one.
Was there 2 then? There's 2 that he's missed. So he's got a pretty good Iron Man streak going. But, it's going to be an exciting week. So we'll lay it out for you. We'll go through some of the traditional things that we do on the show, but some of the things will be different. So we're not going to have some of the bells and whistles that Rod has. I usually don't play with the toys, so you won't hear a lot of bell ringing, gong smashing, horns, that type of stuff. There we go. But we'll have some things. I've got a quick 6 show topics that we'll get to in a minute. Work through that. We'll get some of Rod's thoughts incorporated into the show as well. But we're lucky because it's NHL playoff time. So we're going to get a lot of game recaps. We're going to get a lot of game previews. This will be your morning coffee, pregame and postgame recaps for the NHL playoffs. And really, today's probably the best day to be hosting because it comes on the heels of maybe the greatest sporting day in well over a year. Yesterday, starting at 10 in the morning our time, noon Eastern, the Stanley Cup playoffs kicked off on the day. I mean, obviously, the Capitals and Bruins played on Friday or on Saturday night. But yesterday was a full slate of hockey, and it was incredible. So we're going to get through all of that today. Coming up on the program, Peter Loubardias will join us later on here in hour 1. So we'll go deep on that. Last time he joined us, we were getting set for the gold medal match of the World Under-18 Hockey Championships. So he didn't recap that yet. So we can go all the way back and rewind and get his thoughts on Connor Bedard, Shane Wright, that gold medal game. So that'll be fun. The Stanley Cup playoff recap from him. And then in hour 2, Clark lined me up a little bit of a treat. Turron Davenport, he's with ESPN, The Nation, does some work, I believe, on the Zone in Nashville, local radio in Nashville. He's a Tennessee Titans reporter. So that'll be a little fun. You guys will bear with me, and we'll do that in hour 2 as a little bit of a gift. You can see we did some desk rearranging here with the Titans football front and center for the week. But so we'll look at that and a few other things as the week moves along. So it'll be fun. So how was your weekend?
Looking forward to it. It was good. It's pretty nice out, so I got to enjoy some time outside. And I don't get to watch as much hockey as I used to now with a 2-year-old running around, so I couldn't be glued to the couch all day yesterday. But
I was going to say, I don't have kids.
Of course, caught up on the highlights.
I don't have kids, but what is that? Like, you're in sports, how do you stay involved? Like, how much hockey do you follow?
3 letters, PVR.
I was going to say PVR and Twitter.
Lots of games are PVR, and lots of I love the 5 to 10 minute highlight game recaps that a lot of teams and leagues post. It's easy just to, if to watch a 3-hour game, you can really get the gist of it from. And then the games I need to watch, I obviously will, and I'll make time to do it. But
playoffs watched almost every second. If I wasn't watching, I was listening. We're on the golf course at Deer Valley, so I had the radio broadcast.
It felt a little bit different though, even on Saturday, because I'm used to a full slate of games on the season wraps up on Saturday or Sunday, then 3 days of break, and then a full slate of games on Wednesday, full slate of games on Thursday. That's sort of what I'm used to. So when I saw the first game come around on Saturday night, I'm like, this feels a little bit different. And then there was that the Vancouver game being played. I'm like, well, it just feels weird. And then last night with another Vancouver game, the Calgary game, I just kind of felt. I didn't feel the rush of the NHL playoffs. And then when you watch, I tuned into a couple games just briefly, and okay, playoffs is back. And then a couple of the rinks had fans, the capacity, the buzz. You felt the electricity again. So
that was probably the weirdest thing of the whole night, was having all this great hockey, 10 a.m., 1, 5:30. You had all these games going throughout the day, and then the nightcap was the Flames and the Canucks in a game that meant nothing, and, you know, just no fans in the building, and it totally just sucked the energy of the day, right? I mean, if you're the NHL, I mean, you have to play the games. There's sponsor obligations. There's, you know, players have, you know, been paid to play in these games, and you got to finish the season. But, you know, just how weird is that? And they're not done yet. They've got 2 more games this week, you know, up until Wednesday. Yep. So it's not good. It's interesting.
Yeah, it felt different. And I imagine when Toronto, Montreal play and Edmonton, Winnipeg, it's going to feel a little bit different.
Yeah,
because we're you know seeing the early games down in the States, seeing all the fans and the buzz and the like the Vegas game, right? And when you watch that, and then all of a sudden you're going to watch the Habs Leafs, and it'll feel a little bit different. I think there will still be the on ice intensity, and I know there will be, in fact, but there will be a little bit less buzz.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into it, because we're starting to talk about the NHL playoffs. So what do we do, Jordan? Do I point at you for the quick 6 show topics? I always sit in that chair. I always sit over there, and I half pay attention to Rod sometimes, right? Then he'll throw something at me.
He presses a random button.
Wake me up. So point 1, NHL playoffs. Yes, they all got underway, most underway over the weekend. Washington with their 3-2 overtime win on Saturday over Boston. Vegas losing 1-0 to Minnesota on Sunday afternoon. Tampa with that late win over Florida. All 1-goal games, and of course the Islanders beating Pittsburgh in overtime 4-3 on Sunday morning. All 1-goal games. You couldn't ask for anything better. Playoff hockey, even in a pandemic, is different than the regular season.
I picked Vegas in one of my pools, and the fact that they lost in overtime 1-0 did not excite me. But still, a 1-0 game is, and in the playoffs, it seems to be more entertaining than a 1-0 game in the regular season. So. Yeah, I like how close everything is. And these teams have been battling each other all season long, too. It's not like you see other years where, you know, this team has played this team. There's a lot of rivalries in the first round, but it seems like there's even more this year with how many times they've played each other. You
know, I added point 2 on my list of show topics was Rod's NHL leftovers. He does that every day after the NHL. Well, in anticipation of the week off, he didn't do his NHL leftovers on Twitter, so he's totally left me hanging. But he did point out on Twitter as he was watching the game, and to your point with the Vegas game, he says, I just remembered that defensive teams are murder on your playoff pool, and he has the eye rolling, you know, emoji, hashtag Vegas-born, hashtag nighttime. But it is, right? That's playoff hockey. Minnesota's the only team, you know, to really give Vegas a lot of trouble throughout the year. They've beat them. It's one that we think is going to be a long series. But, you know, in a 1-0 game, to be as good as it was, and how about that save? Did you see the save that Marc-Andre Fleury made behind his back? Yep. You know, I believe it was in the third period with the game scoreless. Unbelievable stop. He was fantastic in that game, and clearly is the number 1 guy in Vegas right now.
Yeah, and, you know, rewind a year ago, we probably wouldn't have thought that. If you would have put money down, you probably wouldn't have. You would have got some pretty good odds to say that Marc-Andre Fleury would be the starter for this year's playoff run. But yeah, and he's the guy. I think they're in a great situation, and that's part of the reason why I picked them. They're so deep, but their goaltending is phenomenal, and I think they're going to still make a long playoff run, even though they're down 1-0.
Speaking of phenomenal goaltending, who has Cam Talbot in their playoff pool? 42 saves, and who also has chalked up that's his 5th career playoff shutout. Cam Talbot's, he's been in some big games, and he's played well, but not a name that would ring as the top of your list.
No,
right?
Or Craig Anderson.
And that's the other one in right. Washington. He comes into that hockey game, and I even saw a tweet, and I can't remember who it was from, but you know, who just found out that Craig Anderson plays for Washington. Yeah, exactly. That was the tweet, and as he came into that game, and he made 21 of 22, or he made 21 saves on 22 shots as Washington had that victory over Boston. So there's 2 guys who you wouldn't think of, but that's playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that's a lot of the reason why these teams acquired goalies like that, and that they put them there, and they don't necessarily think they're ever going to be in the spotlight, but that's why you have a proven backup for instances like that, right? You run with your starter, and then all of a sudden something happens, and That's why they went and acquired Craig Anderson.
Well, and I'm curious, in that Washington series, we'll flip there for a bit, because that was really the first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Ilya Samsonov to not be in the lineup, but he was part of that COVID outbreak that they had. Ovechkin was part of that, the hotel room party, right? He was suspended by the team, and we don't really know if he's going to play, if he's not going to play, if he's part of this group, if he's not, if he has COVID, if he's just being disciplined. So there's all those types of issues. And the other thing that came up, and I tweeted this, not with any opinion, it's typically how I roll, but Tom Wilson, how fitting is it? The first goal of the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs scored by Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the most polarizing figure in the game. You kind of roll your eyes a little bit. Like, how do you sit with that as you're an official, right?
He's just I don't understand. And this was a while ago, and you guys chatted a lot about it, but I just don't understand how he's sort of still allowed to do what he's been doing. He's a good hockey player, but he's not like he's just his style is not meant for the game anymore. There's all this emphasis on player safety. Then when he's pile driving guys into the ice, it's like, no, you don't do that anymore. This isn't the 80s or even the 90s, right? So I still can't believe he wasn't suspended for a long period of time, given what he did. So yeah, to see him score the first goal, I was like, oh, really? He's a good hockey player, and he can score goals, but
it got some reaction, and Rod says he's on my team, notorious RP. That's how he replied to my tweet.
If he's on your team, you love him.
Of course,
I think anyway. But
right, of
but
course,
you still would roll your eyes if he's on your team.
But
and I've played with guys like that who you hate to play against, but even when they're on your team, you roll your eyes like, "What are you doing, man?"
I know you question some of those decisions.
Why'd you stick that guy behind? Yeah,
but then he scores the game with the opening goal, sets up the overtime winner. So effective. You can't argue the effectiveness of Tom Wilson. So that was that game. Big win for Washington. They have a 1-0 series lead. We briefly, we touched on the Vegas-Minnesota game. The biggest game of the whole weekend was, I want to say the nightcap, but that's not the real nightcap. Was Vancouver and Calgary, actually on the schedule. But it was Florida and Tampa Bay. I mean, this was rock'em sock'em, lights out, playoff hockey, and you wouldn't know you were in a pandemic watching that game last night. I mean, you've seen the social media reaction. It was as good of game as we've seen in, I don't know, a long time. Clearly the last few years. Florida and Tampa, like, who would have thought that this battle in the Sunshine State would have been what it was? I mean, there's a rivalry brewing now between the Lightning and the Panthers. And if you watch the game, every whistle, there was a scrum. And not just a little, push in your face, crowd around the crease scrum. It was two-handed cross-checks to the back. It was helmets being thrown off. It was to the ice, nets knocked off the moorings. Every single whistle. Like, it was unbelievable. There was lead changes. There was goals that were being scored. There was emotion. There was 9,600 fans in the building. That felt like 25,000. There was good goaltending. The goaltenders made big stops at times. Yeah, that's what you want.
That's playoff hockey. Those are my favorite games. That's exactly what you sign up for. And I didn't watch the whole game from start to finish, but just seeing the highlights and seeing the longer recaps, that's exactly what you want. And from the NHL's perspective, that's exactly what you want.
I thought about this, and it could have been a possible poll question somewhere in here. I don't know. But Sam Bennett, I mean, he had a goal disallowed early that probably should have been challenged by Joel Quenneville. They elected not to challenge it, and I think it probably would have been overturned. It was disallowed at the time. They thought they pushed Andrei Vasilevsky into the net. I don't think that there was enough contact to warrant the goal being waved up. But had that, he was all over the place in the hockey game. And since being traded by Calgary, something that you often don't realize, 9 goals and 15 points, 10 games since being acquired by Calgary, and he was playing meaningful minutes.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Physical minutes. Yeah. He's an impact player for Florida, right? And he didn't have a fit. He didn't have a home in Calgary.
And a lot of times you see that when a guy goes to a team like Florida, it just seems like the pressure of not being in Calgary anymore. It's just, okay, I can take a deep breath. I'm playing in Florida. Obviously, you're still playing professional hockey, and it's still meaningful to you. But I feel like there is a bit of a sigh of relief for a lot of players who do get traded down there. Bobby Lou, prime example. Same thing.
JH is watching on YouTube, and we haven't mixed in any of your comments yet, so we'll get to JH's comment. Jacques Dupuis says, good afternoon from Ottawa. Good afternoon, Jacques. Thanks for watching. We will mix in your comments a lot more as we move throughout the show, but back to JH on YouTube. Yeah, how clutch is Pointer, dude? Legit top 5 center in the show, talking about Braden Point, and he had that goal. The game-winning goal on the breakaway feed, and he went right through the 5-hole of Bobrovsky. It was outstanding. I mean, since we've watched him in Moose Jaw as a 15-year-old scoring overtime goals for the Warriors, he's been clutch.
When his 15-year-old season, when he came around, I had hoped that he would have a spot for years to come in professional hockey because he was such a dynamic player. And I think if this is 10 years ago or 15 years ago, he wouldn't have even got a look.
Yeah.
Based on his size. But the way hockey's going right now, I love to see guys like that succeed. The smaller, feistier, fast guys who are just so skilled, they're getting more than just an opportunity now to go out there and succeed. But 15 years ago, a scout might have not even looked at him.
Yeah.
Was he 5'9"?
Absolutely. And you just didn't know that he was going to translate into a superstar.
Yeah, but given an opportunity, right? Absolutely.
So I know we're running out of time here in the warm-up, and again, we'll get to more of your comments as we roll. A couple things I want to mix in. So to finish the quick 6 show topics, a couple things, and we're going to push these to later on in the show, but we're going to I want to dive into the NHL salary cap situation because it's top of mind, especially with what's happening in Toronto, Tampa, right? There's 17 teams that are over the salary cap, somewhere around there, that are all overspending, or as Dave Poulin mentioned in his column in the Toronto Star, overcharging the credit card, right? For the playoffs. So we'll talk about that later. Point 5, Saskatchewan's crushing the vaccination rollouts and how this is going to affect the Canadian Football League. I want to get into that a little bit. And point 6, it was the FCS championship yesterday. We were following it on our Instagram story feed, and with Sam Houston State winning their first ever title. We'll also talk about that with Turron Davenport from ESPN coming up in hour 2. NBA announced their Hall of Fame class. Chris Bosh, the former Toronto Raptor, he's going in. That happened over the weekend, as these are extra points. And the World Mixed Doubles, World Curling Championship, Mixed Doubles gets going today. Brad Gushue, Carrie Einerson are playing, representing Canada. And before we go to break, let's bring up the poll question for today, Clark. Our poll questions for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center, and it just comes back to the NHL playoffs. Which series has the best chance at going 7 games? They were all 1-goal games, 3 of them in overtime. Your choice is obviously Tampa, Florida, Boston, Washington, Islanders, Pittsburgh, and Vegas, Minnesota. Trying to see. Tampa, Florida, 39%?
Yep. I hope it does, based on what we saw in game 1.
Oh, I hope so, too.
I'd love to watch 7 of those games.
And more rats. The more rats we can get on the ice, the better. This is, team issued. This was on the ice back when John Van Briesbroek took the Florida Panthers to the Stanley Cup Final. It's got the official tag on it here. So we pulled out the
What's
rats.
The story? How did it end up there?
How did it end up on the ice?
Yeah, no,
here?
On the desk. There's got to be a story behind it.
No, there is a story. A fan donated it, but I'm trying to think about who sent it into Rod. Both of these rats. So we've got those. We're represented here, and we've got lots to get through in the show today. We'll get more into these NHL series coming up in a little bit. We'll preview tonight's games in hour 2, but coming up on the other side, the great Peter Loubardias will join us here on the program. It's the Rod Pedersen Show here on Facebook Live, YouTube, Game Plus TV, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-In Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Pedersen Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering delivery, and the takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. Family owned and operated. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Just a heads up, the Prairie Mobile text line's open, 306-840-8777. We'll do a better job getting to your comments as we roll throughout the show. Yeah, I know. John says I can't say the Rod Pedersen Show because it's the Dupes show. But I think that just sounds weird. I don't know if I can do that. And it still is.
John, take a breath.
Have a coffee, John. Have a coffee.
Enjoy the ride. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Coffee's warm.
Darren's in charge today. He's in control of all the buttons.
I don't rule with an iron fist.
He's going to press a few buttons that he might not know what they do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't rule with an iron fist like Rod does, though. So I'll work on that. My discipline and skills are low, but we may use them as we roll along. So Prairie Mobile text line's open. Our NHL playoff pool is now closed, and we are up to 428 in the playoff pool. So that's awesome. Great RP Show prize pack up for grabs. And Clark, did I read this right? Did Rod add the Kraken jersey? Did he go out and buy a Kraken jersey? So I think Rod has added a Seattle Kraken jersey, and when I first saw it, it's got a C on it and a number 32, and I'm like, they put a player on it already, and they've already awarded a captaincy, but no, 32 for the 32nd franchise, right, in the NHL. So that'll be interesting. When I look at the playoff pool and the stats right now, I know that I'm in like 300 and some place. I've got 2 points. I see Taylor Shire here at the bottom, T400 with 1 point. No, you're not dead last. There's a half a dozen teams that have no points. Most of these names are Leafs for the Cup.
Comeback season now.
Things like that. But so we'll follow along as we roll throughout the playoffs on our playoff pool. But let's bring in Sportsnet's Peter Loubardias now, as I just can't wait to see your face. Hey, Pete, how are you, my good friend?
Pal, I'm fabulous.
I've been waiting all weekend for this.
Well, and right back at you, and hello to Taylor as well. Pal, enough of this on your skill set. The only thing I'm a little disappointed in is that I thought I was going to come out of the Mad Greek. It might have fit, but today with you on the show in particular, we're not mad. We're happy. We have lots to be excited about. And another thing is, it's not like we've got to get something a little better than Dupes.
Yeah, okay. I'm still open to suggestions.
Okay, there's Double D, there's all kinds of things, but anyway, it's great to be with you.
And next time you're here, we will go to the Mad Greek and have, those giant plates, you, me, and Rems. Those ribs.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been an interesting year, as it has been for everyone. It's fascinating right now. Called a game last night. Flames and the Canucks for the first time in pro sports since 1957 in the National Football League, in case you're scoring at home. Regular season games happening after the playoffs had started. But you know what, Darren, in some ways it almost fits, just with COVID and everything that's gone on. And you really do. Yeah. As difficult as this is, in a lot of ways, and especially for the teams who are not participating now in the Stanley Cup finals and playoffs, the league, I think, has done a really, really good job of finding a way. Everybody ends up playing 56, all the delays, the stops, every team having some form of COVID scenario to deal with. So I'll put it to you this way. I will never forget this season, which actually started January 13th. And in some ways, it's gone by like a flash. In other ways, it seems like it's felt like 4 seasons.
Yeah. No,
little shout out to Georgie Yanitsis right there in the 4 seasons.
Which, by the way, that's where we ordered pizza from last night to settle in and
not surprised
to watch the Panthers and the Lightning last night. But we'll get to that. So that game last night, how did you approach it? And just like any other game, did it feel like preseason after you spent the day watching the amazing NHL playoffs that we saw, the 3 other games? How did you approach, going into that nightcap?
Well, I think how you have to approach it is the combination, and Darren, you and I have had lots of talks over the last few years about different games and different situations and different approaches. Last night, in many ways, the Flames had Adam Ruzicka make his National Hockey League debut. Connor Mackey came into the lineup. He played 3 games earlier in the year. So I think in those situations, of course, you still call the game and you break it down, but it's more about, even in our pregame show, it's not as much about the matchups and who's going to be better than who. It's more about stories and looking back, and then in the Flames case, looking forward. So, it's an odd situation. It's not a preseason feel either. It's kind of unlike anything that I've really ever experienced. But at the end of the day, it's a combination now. To me, it's more about the stories when you get an opportunity than just, where the puck's going and winning and losing.
Yeah, no, I agree. So to the games, and let's start at the end, because that game with Florida and Tampa, my God.
Listen, I'm quite fond of the sport at all levels, quite fond. Watch a lot of it. That's the best hockey game I've seen all year. I mean, it was absolutely, from puck drop, the physicality, the intensity, the skill level, the, changes in momentum, those swings, the comeback, and then, of course, the former Moose Jaw Warrior, just like he's been doing since he was 16 years old and in his 15-year-old season. It amazed me then. Darren, it doesn't amaze me anymore. When he had the breakaway late, Braden Point, you know where the puck's going to end up. It's going to end up in the back of the net. And I'm not a huge tweeter, but I just couldn't. I sat there last night. We were in the middle of our pregame show, and I'm like, took me back to Medicine Hat in 2012, as I get the years straight. And the Warriors were playing. He was in his 15-year-old season, 16. They're in the second round against Medicine Hat. He'd already come in, and sorry, Pats fans, and obviously people know that I might have an association with the Regina Pats. So he does some masterful work, and there he is, Game 3, Game 4 of that series, overtime winner. Ended up in the playoffs with 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points, 3 game winners, 2 in overtime. So my line now with Braden Point in a big game, just like it was then, he did it again. He just does it again and again and again. And you mentioned our good friend Kelly Rempel, the Silver Fox. We just generally text back and forth on those nights, Darren. One word: Point.
It's what we love about sports.
What a hockey game.
You can't always explain why it happens and why the guy continues to do what he does, but it happens. And sometimes you just have to not think about it and just enjoy it. I believe what a hockey game is, right. I mean, back and forth, and to have this great rivalry in the state of Florida with fans in the stands. I mean, the emotion, I had chills because 9,600 people felt like 96,000 people in that building last night when I'm watching that game. The Rats were back on the ice, which we love to see.
Were back. I mean, 1996.
It had goals, it had saves, it had hits, I was saying to Taylor, it wasn't pushing and shoving, face wash and a little nudge and a crowd around the crease after every whistle. It was 2 hands to the back. It was helmets being knocked off. It was, you thought a line brawl was going to break out after every whistle. These teams actually don't like each other. And I mean, it's unbelievable. It's drawing a lot of comments in our show today about the crowds. And you're going to watch this, and on Wednesday we're going to see the North Division open up with no fans in the stands. And Clark, I can't remember who it was that asked the question, but they wanted to know your thoughts. Is there any sliver of hope anywhere down the line in these playoffs of seeing a single fan in a Canadian building? Well, I don't see it, but
I would say this to you. Alberta probably different at this point than Ontario, and we're not going to make this into a political discussion. And I have big ties, as you well know, to both. It's great to see, whether it's Saskatchewan or other places, that the vaccination scenario is growing and more people are getting their shots. And you're right. You almost, Darren and Taylor, you almost get used to, it's been so long to not be in a building now, or at least it feels that way without fans. But whether it was the Vegas game in the afternoon in particular, or the game last night in Sunrise, which, by the way, triple the amount of people that are normally in that building when I've done games at the BB&T Center. That was fascinating in its own right. But it almost, you talked about chills, I almost forgot. Yeah. Not that I've ever not wanted it, not that my greatest, in a lifetime filled with amazing sports experiences, I've never taken that aspect for granted. But, as you go to the rink now, you're as professional as you can be. You just, you do your job. And I love the game. So, I get it a little bit when players say they really, really miss it off the top. But once you kind of get into whatever the craft is that you're doing, you don't necessarily some nights. Now, and then the playoffs are just, in our country, let's be frank, there's a lot of rinks that during the regular season, it always has an impact. But in the playoffs in this country, in the National Hockey League, it's special. And yesterday, Vegas has the best fan experience that you could have in the league. They've done an amazing job. So, to see that, no surprise, that brought the hair on the back of your neck up in the afternoon. But that, what I would call spectacle, of not good hockey, not great hockey, but in my opinion, beautiful hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Passion, intensity, physicality, great skill, unbelievable drama. I mean, that's the theater. That's what makes sports the greatest theater there is. And, you know, I talk about it a lot. And again, you know, even Darren has kind of shown me that, you know what, you know, when you're in your 50s, it's not the same as when you're 30s. We all see it a little bit different. But if you didn't like that hockey game last night, you don't like the sport. You don't like the sport. Fabulous. Absolutely just fabulous.
Hey, Lou, something we have to look forward to for the next number of years is watching Connor Bedard and his rise and
He's
his
pretty
performance. Not bad, hey? His performance not only in the Western Hockey League season with the Pats, but at the under-18s and how he rose to the stage. And they sort of worked him into the lineup, and then all of a sudden, by the end of the tournament, he's getting top-line minutes, and he's the go-to guy. You know, looking back at his season with the Pats and with Team Canada, what can you say about him, and what are your thoughts on the young man?
You know, I was really impressed from afar to watch him 4 or 5 times, Taylor, during the bubble in Regina, and was really, really taken aback by his skill level, his hands, his ability to make an impact. To have 28 points in that stretch of time at 15 years old has showed everybody why he was the first player to ever be granted, like the sweatshirt says, Western Hockey League special status. But what I was really looking forward to when he was named to Team Canada was understanding in that type of competition, with all the eyeballs, the pressure, and being a double underage, he blew me away. He absolutely blew me away. And what blew me away the most was, and Taylor, for Darren will understand this about me, what I value the most in sports is people who can make an impact when it matters the most. And after having 4 points during the round robin, what he did in that playoff round was just sensational. He wanted the puck. He wanted to make a difference. He did make a difference. It was something that I will file away and remember. It was different than when at the same age at the 2013 World Under-18, we saw the coming out party of Connor McDavid. There's only one of that guy. But, you know, there's kind of a little Patrick Kane there for me. Just how shifty he is. He wants the puck. But to be that age, even the game against Sweden, forget about that. The backhand goals, that's dumb. That's silly. That's dumb. He just missed a penalty shot, was mad as all get out at himself on the bench, got a couple of taps, went out the next shift and said, you know what? This is getting fixed. And it's getting fixed right now. And even in the semifinal game, okay, if you didn't watch, it's 8-1 at the end. But it's 2-1, biting some nails going to the third for those of us really invested. And who basically early in the third said, you know what? That's about enough of you guys. I'm going to take this over. I'm going to score a couple. He absolutely blew me away. He did. It's people in that part of the great province of Saskatchewan I don't know, I know we're running out of time, but I've said this my whole life. At some point very soon, you're going to have to pay hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to go watch people like Bedard, Braden Yager. I mean, there are some spectacular young people in the Western Hockey League. I think it's as exciting a time for the league with young talent as I've seen in a long, long time. So get your tickets when we can go back, and we don't take that for granted anymore. get to Moose Jaw, get to wherever you need to go, PA, of course, in Regina. Enjoy the daylights out of these people because they're not going to be around for very long. And they're terrific.
Yeah, we're lucky to have them around here, Lou. You know that. Hey, it's love seeing your face. Great to see you. I miss you. Pal. And be well.
Right back at you.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah, we will. Keep up the great work over there. Take care.
You. Peter Loubardias joining us here on the show this morning, and we'll get to recap a little bit of that coming up after the break. We're late for a break, so let's do that and come back with more. Prairie Mobile text lines open, 306-840-8777. So we'll get to your thoughts, too. It's the, what are we calling this? I don't know. It's the Rod Pedersen Show for now on Game Plus TV Network, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, one toy I'll play with. We got breaking news today, and it's big. Guys, we're going for lunch. Restaurants are open.
How about that?
In Regina, in the sweatpants capital. So we can go for lunch, and we're going to treat the staff to lunch today. So we're going to go sit in at the Tap. I assume the Tap's open today. I haven't called over there, but we'll have to do that. We're going to the Tap for lunch, so you're welcome to join us, Taylor. If you want lunch today, we're going to go after the show. So that's exciting as we do a great job in Saskatchewan, actually, of vaccination rollouts. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But first, a sports update. Yet another NHL playoff game went down to the wire. Braden Point scored 2 late goals, including the game winner with 74 seconds left in the third to lift Tampa Bay over the Florida Panthers 5-4. The Lightning lead the best-of-7 series 1-0. Nikita Kucherov scored 2 power play goals, and Andrei Vasilevsky made 35 saves. Game 2 is Tuesday. Elias Lindholm scored the overtime winner as the Calgary Flames held on for a thrilling 6-5 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. What? A thrilling 6-5 victory in a regular season meaningless game. Anyways, they wrote it.
Bump that one down next time.
Yeah, the Flames were leading 5-1. The Canucks stormed back 4 unanswered goals in the third period. The game, of course, didn't mean much. Rookie Ivan Castillo had a pinch hit RBI single, and the San Diego Padres beat the St. Louis Cardinals 5-3 for 3-game sweep. Castillo's hit was his first in the majors. Padres have 5 players in the COVID-19 related injured list, including star shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. The LA Lakers closed out the regular season with a 110-98 victory over the New Orleans Pelicans. LeBron James had 25 points before he appeared to mildly aggravate a right ankle injury. And our intern Alan filled me in on the NBA report side. The Lakers are going to play the Golden State Warriors in the play-in tournament. So they don't even have a playoff spot yet. They'll play in the 7-8 game on Wednesday. The loser will move down to play in the for the final playoff spot. The winner will get the 7 seed in the West. The best team in MLS is at it again. Xavier Arrega and Brad Smith scored second-half goals for the Seattle Sounders. They beat Los Angeles FC 2-0. The first-place Sounders have earned 16 of a possible 18 points after 6 games so far this season. Game 2 of the NHL playoff series between the Capitals and Boston Bruins goes today. The Caps won the series opener 3-2 on Nick Dowd's overtime winner. Veteran goaltender Craig Anderson likely to get the start between the pipes for Washington. As your sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Liquor Store, and they are open again for dine-in or pickup. Liquor Store drive-thru is open, plus you may also now shop inside. Please follow social distancing guidelines to help everyone stay safe. And for Ballers, or for Caliber Coffee in Regina and Saskatoon, you can get the freshest coffee beans around delivered right to your door, calibercoffee.ca. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll get to your comments in the viewer takeover here next. Thank you, Ryan, for paying your late fine here for showing up late. He just supercharged us $5. You see that, Taylor? Nice. Ryan McCarthy in beautiful Saratoga, New York. We'll get to all of your comments coming up on the other side. Plus, I see text coming into the Prairie Mobile text line as well. So that's coming up here as you're watching the Rod Pedersen Show on Rod's Week Off here on Game Plus TV, Facebook, YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Every pre-owned vehicle at Capital Ford must pass a thorough inspection, ensuring that your buying experience is quick, easy, worry-free, and just like new. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering delivery, and the takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. Family owned and operated. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com. Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Well, when I first started playing, the scholarship was so important to me. Like, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a gas station, and I used to actually line the field for the team to get paid just to make some extra money.
I think for me, the opportunities that the scholarships provide is very important, or very specifically the stress it alleviates for myself.
The Rams give me the opportunity to buy everything that I need to get the best grades that I can, and that'll lead to me getting hopefully the best job that I can in the future.
There wasn't a scholarship opportunity with the Rams. I know that life would have been a lot more difficult for myself. I'm not too sure exactly how much longer I would have been able to play beyond my first year.
With the opportunity that they provided for me to go through school with the financial support and with the opportunity to continue to play football, now that I look back on it, was the most important thing in my life.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Hey, welcome back. The University of Regina Rams Online 50/50 is live, and it's open to those living in Saskatchewan. For those of you watching around the world, call up your Saskatchewan friends and get them to purchase the 50/50 tickets. Just over the weekend, they just launched Friday. The grand prize is almost $10,000. That was quick. The Rams Football Club continues to be self-funded through fundraising efforts and sponsorship. And they're going to honor all 2021 scholarships to 95 student athletes. Go to reginarams5050.com and purchase your tickets. Comments coming in response to one day paying a lot of money to watch Connor Bedard. Chris Bird in Toronto says Maple Leaf fans pay thousands of dollars to see Martin Marincin. LOL. Yeah, it's true. And we're getting him, well, right now on our television sets for free. Yeah. And for what, $20 to go to a Pats game? I mean, you can't beat that when they allow people back into the stands.
Yeah, and then you can say, hey, I saw him when he was 15, 16, whatever it is.
And follow him all the way. Absolutely. Yeah, Ryan McCarthy, so just to further his thought, he put his $5 into the kit. He says, late from the gym on his day off. And, of course, good afternoon to North America, Mexico, Norway, and Qatar from sunny and beautiful Saratoga, New York. That's why we want to get the scene setters, right, guys? So I want one day to be able to see Saratoga, New York. I got to see how beautiful Saratoga is. We'll get Ryan to send in a photo one day. So there you go. Rod Monroe's watching on Game Plus TV on the big screen, says, sweet. And there you go. And Jeff, the Stamps fan in Calgary, says wondering my comments on Premier Mo's plan to fill Mosaic later this summer, as per the story and the stuff from Friday. We're going to have to wait till hour 2 to get into that, because there's some thoughts in that. We kind of touched on it on Friday as we started with that. That will be interesting. We are rolling out those vaccines. Back-to-back record days, over 18,000 vaccinated on Saturday and Sunday. So that's great. Actually got mine on Saturday. Nice. So Easy peasy. It was pretty quick. Booked the appointment, rolled right in, 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out. So I've got mine, and you're going to need to get yours if you want to come on our sports trip, the VIP sports experience in December. We're in the initial planning stages. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the pandemic. There's a good chance it may be canceled, but there's also a probably pretty close to 100% chance you're going to need to have your vaccination if you have any shot at coming with us.
Yep.
So if you need any reason to get vaccinated, it's
Could
to
be
come
the
on
first
the
big
sports
party,
trip.
the first big outing. Maybe.
Tell me about it. Maybe. I know all of our American friends are coming with us from all over, and people from all corners of Canada. So that'll be really great. Looking forward to that in December. Prairie Mobile text line is open. We'll get to your comments here before we run for hour one. Bob in Grand Prairie says the real Canada's team will win the Stanley Cup and bring it back to Edmonton this year. Go Oilers. He's referring to Rod's love of the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team, as he likes to call them. Ray in the 416 says, hey, Moose, great job filling in for Rod. Looking forward to the Moose rant. LOL. More of those comments and more from you in hour two. It's the Rod Pedersen Show, Game Plus TV, YouTube, Facebook, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
right now.
Yeah, Rod's not here, so I'm hosting the show.
How about that?
NHL playoffs all week. Yeah, it is NHL playoffs all week long, and no Rod this week. Darren Dupont here, Taylor Shire in that seat, riding shotgun as we welcome you back in for hour 2 of the Rod Pedersen Show. And hour 1 was a lot of fun. We had Peter Loubardias join us from Sportsnet and the Fan 960 in Calgary and really recap what was, in my mind, the greatest day in sports in over a year. And that includes a Super Bowl that Tom Brady won, which we love around here. NHL playoffs getting going over the weekend, and Sunday was unbelievable. All 4 games go to overtime, or are 1-goal games, 3 of the 4 going to overtime, and it's only going to get better tonight. Clark, did we hear any more about Sam Bennett's hearing? Keep an eye on that, because we didn't talk about that in hour 1. He's free and clear? All right. So we're thinking he's free and clear. I haven't seen it confirmed yet, but Sam Bennett was set to have a hearing today. The Florida Panthers forward and former Calgary Flame for I believe it was a boarding call last night in the loss to Tampa. But Sam Bennett was outstanding. I mean, he was an impact player, and he has been since arriving in Florida. He's found his home. Joel Quenneville is using him in the right spots, and that mustache, iconic mustache that Sam Bennett is rocking, unbelievable stuff. That Florida-Tampa series is unbelievable. So really looking forward to see where that goes. But one of the other things we wanted to bring up was our pool. I mean, producer Clark's pulled up the standings here. Our playoff pool is live. Unfortunately, registration is now closed as of last night. So 400, I believe, and 28 people into the playoff pool, all up for a prize, which includes a Seattle Kraken jersey, an RP Show prize pack for winning the pool. We also have a pool for the most creative name, so that will come later in the week. We'll start looking at some of those names, but Maverick is in first place. Now, I don't know who's behind some of these handles, so congratulations. Maverick's got 16 points, free and clear in first place. Clearly led by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nikita Kucherov, Victor Hedman, and Braden Point leading the way. Producer Clark leads our group, 60s T61 with 9 points. Our friends at Rockstar Supply Chains are in 85th place. Craig Smith, 108th. Rod, who I have to make a correction here in a moment. Rod's in 195th, along with Nelson Hakowicz. Chicken Nuggets. That's Alan, the intern. Your name's Chicken Nuggets. Okay. He's in 306th. I'm in 356th place, 2 points. Of course, I'm loaded up with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Taylor Shire's T400 with 1 point. And last place, Angry Raccoon. I don't know who's behind that one. 0 points through 2 days of the Stanley Cup.
Who are your cup
playoffs.
picks?
I don't know. I haven't made my cup picks. Actually, I want to go back and
well, you should base your fantasy draft off your cup picks, I hope.
No, for sure. And
or did you
I'd have to go back. I was pretty random in my selections.
But some people do that, and then you lead the first round, and then by the third round, you have nobody left.
I know. I did load up on Toronto. I do think they're going to go a long ways. And Florida.
Toronto and Florida,
I do like, but again, they might meet in the semifinals because we don't know how that Final Four is going to roll out. Because
the reseeding, right?
Yeah, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have the first 2 rounds of the playoffs to determine each of the division winners, and once you have 4 division winners, there's no bracket to determine where they go. It's going to be reseeded based on regular season points. So we don't know if it's going to be Scotia North versus Honda West, or if it's going to be Scotia North versus Discover, the Mass Mutual. We don't know how they're going to line up, right, once you get to that Final Four. But, so you kind of have to take your chances in that playoff pool.
Yeah, I took Carolina and Vegas in my final, with Vegas winning the Cup.
That was Rod's comment.
Toronto and Pittsburgh in the Final Four.
Yeah.
So
that was Rod's comment, is a defensive team is murder on your playoff pool. Vegas, Minnesota, right? Yeah. When you get teams with good goaltending.
Vegas is good enough. They'll get by Minnesota, though, I don't think.
You think so?
Yeah.
1-0, that game, Minnesota winning in overtime. Jim Perry's watching in Calgary, says he's in 148th spot. What's your team name, Jim? If you're alone in 148, that'll be easy for Clark to figure out and make sure he adds it to our standings to track. Our content creator, Nelson Vo, says we will have a graphic to give everyone at the top of the standings a little love at the end of the week. So don't worry about that. Robin Wildey's tied for 85th. Farmer in Saskatchewan's watching on YouTube. 1 point. Avalanche heavy. They haven't started yet in their round. They got Nashville, right, in round 1, the Colorado Avalanche. Sorry, they got St. Louis. That's right. That's right. They got the St. Louis first. Carolina has Nashville.
Yeah.
Wrong division. So there you go. We'll get to more of your comments, too, as we roll through and let us know where you are in the standings. Pucks and Pigskins podcast is watching, too. Says, morning squad. LFG. Dupes. LFG. Jason. Thanks for watching. Tacona Pally. How about that? And pretty excited that we're hosting today, so that's good. And all week we'll be hosting. Rod's not on vacation. He's out doing really good work, making the world a better place on the recovery side this week. As he has said, he wouldn't take a vacation just to stay at home. He'd be taking a vacation to go down south or somewhere warm. So we'll get Rod back in the seat, I believe, on Tuesday, because Monday's the holiday. So Rod will be back in this chair on Tuesday. But to recap, Hour 1, we went through the NHL playoffs and kind of touched on a little bit of those series. A couple things we didn't touch on. Pittsburgh, New York. That game going into overtime. I listened to Game 1 of the Penguins and Islanders series from the golf course at Deer Valley. I listened. I believe Rick Jeanette is the play-by-play voice of the Penguins. It was pretty good. He's got some of those iconic calls, right?
He's great.
When the Penguins scored to take the lead, I believe, in the third period. I mean, he had one. You know, Donna needs a donut. That was his call for that goal. It was entertaining to listen to the radio broadcast, which I really love to do. So did that. Didn't get to see the Crosby goal, but did you see the highlights of the Crosby deflection? In the slot, one hand on his stick, just like a magician, and deflects it in through the legs. I mean, Crosby is still Sidney Crosby, right?
Yeah, that's why I had Pittsburgh going to the division final. He's good, and he gets overlooked often. We did a fantasy draft last week, and he was picked in like the 3rd round.
Unbelievable.
Like, man, he's still a top 5, potentially a top 5 player.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh makes it even to the 3rd round. He's still going to get 20 points.
Crosby's not given up his title among the top players in the league yet. It's unbelievable to see. But a couple of things that jumped out at me in terms of stats. Chris Letang. He's made the playoffs in each of his 15 seasons in the National Hockey League. Crosby hasn't done that. Remember, he missed the playoffs as a rookie back when he played with Mario.
Yeah.
But Letang, 15. And Marc-Andre Fleury, Vegas, the only goaltender, first in NHL history, 15 straight seasons. He's made the playoffs as well as a goaltender. Yeah. You know, with starting his career in Pittsburgh and then finishing up well, not finishing up, but he's now continuing it in Vegas with the Knights. Jeff Cabillas watching in Winnipeg says, live branding, DuPont. Let's go. LOL. The brand is in the office. We're not branding anybody on this show.
How about that?
Yet. One day we'll. Mike Lang. Thank you, Rachel. Mike Lang. That's the name, not Rick Jeanette. Yeah. Mike Lang. That's right. Play-by-play voice of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I was listening to that, and Rachel filled me in because she is a Penguins fan. We'll get to some of her thoughts coming up later on in the hour on that Penguins Islanders series. Of course, around here, we'd probably be pulling for the Islanders. The Eberle factor, I think, for Rod is strong.
Yeah,
I'm a little indifferent. I'm a Crosby guy too, but I think that'll be Rod's choice. Will be the Islanders. But that was a good game 1. Troy Colmer's watching on Facebook. Says, "Don't worry, Darren. You never want to come out of the gate too quick." He's in 306th place, 306 with a rocket. Okay, I'm 306 with a rocket. I don't know what he means. He's going to skyrocket.
Comeback season.
All right.
It's early.
The comeback season.
You know, one of the players that I think is going to be a big factor with local ties is Chandler Stevenson with Vegas, playing on the top line with Mark Stone right now. I mean, former Pat, Saskatoon product. He could play a big factor in these playoffs, sort of and bring it, Canada's team, Rod calls it, but bring the cup back here.
Yeah.
As he did with Washington, right?
That was Vegas's issue, right? Sometimes when they eventually got knocked out, they ran into trouble. The well dried up in terms of goal scoring, right? and it was dry in game 1, but Marc-Andre Fleury was outstanding. They need to get it going on a consistent basis.
No, they will. They're deep, too, and Minnesota's not that deep to put that a consistent effort for 7 games. So
the Snowman's watching on YouTube in Carolina, says, Dupes, Snowman, how are you, my man? Good to see you, and happy to have you along. A few more comments here on the Prairie Mobile text line keep rolling in. The Prairie Mobile text line is open at 306-840-8777. Brady in Saskatoon says, hey, Dupes, the moose in the caboose. Okay. I could see 3 games in the Capital Ford poll going to 7. These are the Pens and Islanders, Tampa, Florida, Bruins, and Caps. Carey Price and Brendan Gallagher will play in Laval's final game tonight. I can't wait for the Titans versus Seahawks game. That will be a close one down to the wire. So there you go from Brady in Saskatoon. Yes, Carey Price, they say he's going to play half the game.
Half the game, yeah.
Right? And you're a Habs guy. Do you expect both of those guys to play in game 1 Thursday?
100%. Yep, and I think the leash will be long on Price. I think he's going to be Jake Allen's played well this year, and I think there's an option to go back to him, but Price will be the guy that they ride.
Yeah, it'll be Carey Price. Against Jack Campbell, who's been named, I believe he's been officially named the starter for game 1 in that game on Thursday. But we've got lots of time to tee up that throughout the week. Of course, the Winnipeg-Edmonton series gets going on Wednesday. We'll get to that. Probably a little bit more tomorrow than we will today. Wayne's watching. Wayne Grollo pulling for the Islanders versus the Penguins, but they've both won multiple cups. Yes, that's right. Tacona Powley on YouTube. Is Jonathan Huberdeau not the most underrated player in the NHL? Put up Barkov there, too. And I think that's just because there's no pub in Florida, right?
Yeah, that's a huge reason. Had he been playing in Toronto, it'd be a totally different story. He'd be overrated even if he put up 80 points, right?
Yeah.
It's where you are. A lot of the overrated, underrated is where you play.
I agree. And you're right. Tacona, Jonathan Huberdeau is one of the best players in the National Hockey League. And when he scored that goal, he kind of almost lost the puck, the go-ahead goal in the third period on a breakaway, as he kind of got a stick to the legs and he kind of lost the handle, but it still went in. And the emotion in that series, I mean, that goal kind of summed it up a little bit of the emotion. Just outstanding stuff. Mm-hmm. And I hope we see more of it when 2 other series get going for the first time. Game 1's tonight, Colorado home to St. Louis, Carolina home to Nashville. And then we'll get game 2, Boston, Washington. That game at 7:30 Eastern. So looking forward to those tonight. But that leads us to our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. It is, which of the games we've seen so far, which series has the best chance of going 7 games? Of course, they were all 1-goal games, and 3 of them went to overtime. Looks like Florida-Tampa leading the way, right? 40%, followed by Vegas, Minnesota at 30%. Boston, Washington, New York Islanders, Pittsburgh bringing up the rear. I think that Vegas, Minnesota series is going to go 7. I really do. When the Tampa Florida series is going to go either one of 2 ways. It's either going to go 6 or 7 games and just be incredibly back and forth.
I don't know if they can keep it up over 7 games. There's going to be a 2-0 series lead, right, and the other team's just going to be so beat up that they...
Or it's going to be a 4-game sweep.
Yeah.
I think that Tampa has a chance to take this in 4. I really do. Or it's going to go 7. Because, and it's hard to comprehend a tight, close series, every game being like 1-goal a game, but Tampa just having a little bit of that experience of winning a cup, with Kucherov, Stamkos, Braden Point,
Yeah, if it's a 2-0 series lead, it's over, is what I'll say, over in 4 to 5. But if Florida wins game 2, then 7.
Yeah, I agree. Jeff Kabilas, again, on the Carey Price, Jake Allen situation, he thinks Jake Allen has played better than Price this year, but Carey Price has dealt with injuries, and he's still Carey Price.
Jake Allen has played better than Price, so you could play arguably who's been better, but Carey Price is still your guy. He's your starter. He's your franchise guy. He's the guy you're paying. You're going to ride him. And like I said earlier, the leash might not be as long as it had been in previous years, but they're still going to give him the opportunity to be a performer and show that he is still one of the most elite goalies in the world. You're not going to just put him on the bench and be like, we're paying this guy $10 million to sit there.
It's how I approach the Connor Hellebuck situation in Winnipeg. Mike Smith on the other side. Mike Smith's been a better goaltender, I think, this season.
Right.
I think he's been better, right? Is he the better goaltender? The reigning Vezina champ, right? Who do you put your money on when all the chips are down? Who's going to win the game? One series, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be Connor Hellebuck. They'll have the edge in goaltending. Whether he's had a better year or not, I think he has to have the edge. William Works on Facebook agrees Wild in Vegas will go 7. I do. I think that series is going a long, long way. And it makes me want to bring up Rod's predictions here, because Rod, did he tweet out his predictions, I believe? I'm going to find them. Each of his predictions for the opening round of the playoffs, because I think they're worth it. But I'm going to have to do some digging to find his predictions on his leftovers from the weekend. Couple other things on the quick 6 show topics we never got to was Nikita Kucherov. Kucherov didn't play, and he hasn't played in 7 months. And I heard John Cooper talking about him post-game after his 2-goal effort. 2 goals, 1 assist, 5 shots on goal. I mean, he very much was the game star in the 5-4 win over Florida in Game 1. But he doesn't come back, and it's not technically a deadline acquisition, but is there a better add to any team in the playoffs than Nikita Kucherov, and to be able to do what he did?
He's a couple years removed from leading the league in scoring, so to get that guy back in your lineup is huge. And it's surprising to me that there wasn't much of a drop-off in his performance for not playing that long. I couldn't imagine not playing for that long, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in the biggest stage, puts up the performance like he did. I imagine he was there was some rust on his game that he would have noticed, and maybe a bit of wind to catch up. But yeah, what a great acquisition for Tampa, and to have him and Stamkos back in the lineup.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
They very well might be the underdog team this year, as much as they're still viewed as a favorite. They might be the one that goes all the way and squeaks through.
Yeah,
Vasilevsky in that.
I think so. I mean, they have to be considered a favorite, but they could very well lose out in the first round to a Florida Panthers team that is just as loaded offensively and deep as well. So be really interested to see that. Tacona brings up the other point I wanted to bring up, and we might not even get to this, but we will at some point. I promise you that this week. More Tampa salary cap manipulation. And the Coles notes on this is there's no salary cap in the playoffs. Right? And the spirit of that rule is wonderful, but teams obviously know how to manipulate it.
If it's not against the law, is it
breaking the law?
Are you breaking the law? If it's not against the rules, are you breaking the law?
I think we've got a face-off.
They're manipulating it, but not necessarily doing it in a way where they're... And even if they lose a draft pick or have a fine, it's the price of winning, you could say, right? Is it worth it? Yes.
And
it's happened in the CFL a number of times.
Happened to the New Jersey Devils in 2010 when they did the same thing with Ilya Kovalchuk. They ended up losing a first-round pick in that situation. So looking forward to that. Just re-upping on the quick 6 show topics, we had the NHL situation. New Orleans had an interesting tweet out that said they've got no intention of requiring fans to provide any confirmation of COVID vaccination to attend their games this year. So they're ready to put fans in the stands in the NFL. They're putting fans in the stands in the U.S. for the NHL playoffs. And also in the U.S., I mean, they're playing football, the FCS championship. Sam Houston State won their first title. So we'll get to more of that on the other side of the break. Turron Davenport, is he logged in? Not yet, but he'll be coming in. So Turron Davenport will join us from ESPN coming up here after the break, and more from you and your comments, too, on Facebook and YouTube and the Prairie Mobile text line. It's the Rod Pedersen Show on Rod's Week Off on YouTube, Facebook, 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Well, when I first started playing, the scholarship was so important to me. Like, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at a gas station, and I used to actually line the field for the team to get paid, just to make some extra money.
I think for me, the opportunities that the scholarships provide is very important, or very specifically the stress it alleviates for myself.
The Rams give me the opportunity to buy everything that I need to get the best grades that I can, and that'll lead to me getting hopefully the best job that I can in the future.
There wasn't a scholarship opportunity with the Rams. I know that life would have been a lot more difficult for myself. I'm not too sure exactly how much longer I would have been able to play beyond my first year.
With the opportunity that they provided for me to go through school with the financial support and with the opportunity to continue to play football, now that I look back on it, it was the most important thing in my life.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Capital GMC is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Every certified vehicle includes the balance of manufacturer's warranty, 150 plus point inspection, roadside assistance, and certified exchange privilege. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital GMC is your used car destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back. The Rod Pedersen Show here on Rod's Week Off. Darren DuPont here. Taylor Shire's riding shotgun for day one of the week. We'll be at it all week. And for those of you wondering, Rod is away. Of course, as you know, a recovery coach and doing great work there. So he's, I believe he's in a conference all week. So he's not on vacation, but Rod doing his thing. Wayne Grollo, congratulations, Wayne. He's vaccinated. So we like to celebrate that. I got mine on my first one on Saturday. I know Ryan McCarthy said he got his second dose, just got his second dose. So he's done and will be fully locked and loaded, ready to come on our sports trip. You know, it was 2 years ago on our sports trip, we went to Nashville to take in the Titans. And that's where I want to start as we bring in Turron Davenport from ESPN in Nashville. It was 2 years ago. Maybe we don't have him. Not yet? We're good? Turron, we got you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, there you are. How are you, my man?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. Hope you're doing well also.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. How's Nashville today? Because when I was on the deck this morning here in Canada, it was 15 degrees. Which is what? That's Celsius, which is going to be 30 degrees this afternoon, which I believe is in the upper 90s. How's Nashville?
Nashville is great, man. It's probably about in the high 70s right now, but it's a nice, clear day. The sky is blue, and, we woke up this morning, so it was a victory.
Yes, absolutely. I was just saying, we do a sports trip every year, and so we're planning ours for December. We had to cancel last year. We're not allowed to travel. We were supposed to go to Miami. 2 years ago in 2019, we went to Houston. But in 2018, we went to Nashville. And I've been a Titans fan for a while. They didn't know that when we planned the trip. But we actually ended up catching 2 games. They had a Sunday nighter and the Thursday nighter. That was the Jets. Went over the Jets. And then that was the Derrick Henry, the big breakout game against Jacksonville, right, on Thursday Night Football with the 98-yard touchdown run. It was unbelievable, man. I mean, the atmosphere was great. But I can't imagine what it's going to be like this season with the Titans, continuing to be a team that now people are paying attention to, but having fans back in the building. How exciting is that going to be?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting just because, like you said, the energy, these guys feed off of that, and they love it. And it's interesting because Mike Vrabel said that even like at the playoff game, when there was only, I think it was like 10,000 fans in there, but they said that they really felt that energy, and it made it seem like there were a lot more. So, yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And I know people are dying to get back into the stadium and just see some live events. And before they'll be able to see the Titans, the Predators, they're in the playoffs. So that's going to be something else to watch. And it's a great experience for the sports fans here in Nashville. It's
funny. They got Carolina tonight. I was going to get into that, and maybe we'll do it now. How is the city when it comes to the Preds and the playoffs? Is it buzzing ahead of Game 1 tonight?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely buzzing. And, this city, they love the Predators. And before I got here, that was the year they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. And from what I've been told, man, downtown was really popping, and they even that area near Bridgestone Arena, they had you could view the game when they were playing away. And like I said, this city loves the Predators. The radio station here, 102.5 The Game, is the official Predators station. It's an ESPN affiliate. And yeah, man, it's crazy.
Unreal. Yeah. I mean, we were in there too. We took in the Preds as well. And I mean, unbelievable down there. And the best part about the playoffs is the weather's getting nice, right? I mean, it's not cold. Yeah. You can be outside. You can do the strip. So what is the situation now in Nashville when it comes to COVID being open? Like, I've got some friends across the U.S., whether they're in Dallas and it's wide open. We're seeing, Snapchats and photos and stuff from Florida. What's it like in Nashville right now down the strip?
It's as wide open as A.J. Brown on a play-action pass across the middle.
That's pretty wide open.
Been lifted, man. Yeah, it's good to go, man. You could do whatever. It's open. Downtown is really buzzing. I had to drive through there a couple of days ago. Actually, when I was leaving the Titans facility, I had to stop through downtown after rookie minicamp. So yeah, everything is ready to go.
I can't wait to get back. I got to figure out which game we're going to come down to. So got to go to Hattie B's. We did that last time. Porkers, right? Porkers Barbecue is one. We did a few. It was great. So can't wait to get back. What's the mask policy? Still wearing masks? No.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah. Wide open, hey? Unbelievable. So that was interesting because I saw this tweet from the New Orleans Saints, and it was about full capacity, right? And it says this: the New Orleans Saints have no intention of requiring that our fans provide any confirmation of a COVID vaccination to attend our games. However, we do encourage our fans to get vaccinated. Do you know what the Titans policy is on vaccinated fans being in the building, or does it not matter?
I'm not sure exactly what the policy is. We're still working through it as far as media is concerned, to be honest with you. Going to camp, it just came out that if we show that we have a vaccinated, we have a card, then you can go to practice without a mask. But that's pretty much the extent. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to work the season out.
And of course, this weekend we just wrapped up with rookie mini camps, mostly across the National Football League. So, were you there on the field?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't miss an opportunity to go see the guys out there.
Unbelievable. One more just Titans-centric question, and then we'll, delve into stuff that the rest of our audience will care about. But you had the Titans' new cornerback, number one, first-round draft pick on your show. How was Caleb? I saw that, and I saw the clips that you had on your radio show there on the game. How was he, and is the back no longer a concern?
Yeah, he was awesome on the show. As far as at camp, he wasn't there. He wasn't on the field. They have a specific plan for him, a timetable, so to speak. And when it's going to be his turn to go out there, he'll be ready. We got to talk to him. He said that he is really excited about being in the building, getting the playbook. And the thing that I like from him is he understands that it's up to him to control what he can control. And right now, all that is to be ready for when that opportunity does come to be out there. So that's why he's diving in the playbook. He's asking the questions that are necessary. And he understands the plan, right? And there's big picture to it. It would be great to get out there right now, but what if he gets out there and he's not ready and something else happens? So that's really the way that they're looking at it. He is ready to go from his perspective as far as how he feels, but he's just going to carry it along just the way that the team wants that plan to go.
Caleb Farley was the Titans' first-round selection out of Virginia Tech, the cornerback, 22nd overall. Of course, there was issues creeping up about the injured back and the surgery that he had before being selected. Other storylines, we talked a lot about the Aaron Rodgers storyline, but something that's died down a little bit in the division has been the Deshaun Watson story in Houston. That's where we were with our trip in 2019, watching Deshaun and against the Denver Broncos for that game. But what is the latest that you've heard on Deshaun Watson? Where is that going? Are we expecting him to lead the Houston Texans this season?
Well, I wouldn't have that expectation. It's, from what I understand, there is a bit of a back and forth between the two lawyers as far as who is going to, if they have a settlement, how that will work as far as who could speak and who can't. I think that's kind of the impasse that they're at. But that whole situation, it's a tough one that you hate to see anybody be in. At this point, I don't think you really could say yes or no as far as whether or not Watson will be out there. It's still just too much to be worked out.
From our comment section here on Facebook, Nelson Vo, our content creator, is watching, and he wants to know what the Falcons are getting in Arthur Smith as a head coach. I often think, good offensive coordinators, for the most part, should probably stay offensive coordinators, right? When you become a head coach and you hire a coordinator, you stop doing what you did really, what made you successful, right? You stop calling plays. But how will Arthur Smith transition to being a head coach in Atlanta?
Yeah, I think he's going to transition fine. And to your point, typically, a guy will take over the head coach job and hire an offensive coordinator, but he's still going to be the one calling the plays. So he will still have a similar role. Obviously, it will have expanded because he has a whole team to oversee. But the one point that you have to look at is him bringing in Dean Pease, who, in essence, is a guy that you could just say, okay, the defense is yours, and not even worry about that, and know that it's in very, very good hands. The Falcons will be much better defensively. Head coach-wise, I think, Arthur Smith is a guy that not only invests in the players and what they do on the field, off the field. And he's even like that with the media, which is really interesting. And I know I was able to establish a very good relationship with him. And he's a guy that those players will want to play for. I think Matt Ryan is in probably the best situation he's been in since his MVP year with Shanahan as the play caller. I think he's in really good shape, and I would expect to have an uptick as far as what the Falcons are going to be able to do with Matt Ryan. Still a lot of questions, obviously, personnel-wise with Julio Jones, but Arthur Smith, I think, is a really good option for them at head coach. He is a leader. He's a guy that has taken over the offensive room and had to just speak to them, and he made presentations to the offense, and this was when he was just a tight ends coach. and they're getting a guy that absolutely loves football. And the easy way to see how this guy loves football is his father founded FedEx. He doesn't have to work, right? And he could have just, worked right through the ranks of FedEx and been an executive there, but he decided that he wanted to make his way up from an assistant, all the way up to the point where he became a head coach. So I think that speaks a lot for his actually love for the game.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. A couple quick ones because we got to run. We're running short on time. The Julio Jones, has that died down? Is there still some fire burning there on the Julio Jones talk? And I mean, the Titans fans that follow us on Twitter, they wanted to come to Tennessee, but is that realistic at all?
I think that would be really tough because there's a really big cap number that the Julio Jones carries with him. Now, if he gets released, and that's something, but I highly doubt the Falcons will release him. So that's kind of a pipe dream at this point. I don't think him coming to the Titans is likely, but I think there's a good chance that they figure out a way to get him to a different team that could absorb some of that, most of that cap, and also give them some compensation.
As you know, Turron, we are in Canada, so our fans are just all over this Stanley Cup playoffs. Have you seen the Predators this year? Wayne's asking if you've seen them, and if you have, how good are they? How far will they go? I know you're covered the Titans, but what can you say about the Preds?
Yeah, I've seen them play a couple times live. I think they're a scrappy team. I would say that. They do take advantage of the power play, so that's something to watch. Their goalie situation is interesting. You got the younger fella, and you got Pecorine, but I think they're in good shape, and they're a scrappy team that they could surprise some, but I just expect a lot of fights too.
Turron, awesome catching up with you. Great to have you on. Looking forward to getting down to Nashville for a Titans game soon.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Awesome. Turron Davenport from ESPN, Titans reporter there for ESPN The Nation. We'll get to more of your comments, and I hope that satisfied Max and Wayne on the Preds front. But we'll get to your comments here as it's viewer takeover, really, the rest of the way. And we got a face-off coming up soon. It's the Rod Pedersen Show on Facebook, YouTube, Game Plus, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Pedersen Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-In Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Okay, I'm telling you, my head is spinning. Like, sitting in this chair is so much different than sitting over there, right? I mean, first of all, it is a mess back here, but that's okay. It looks good up here. That's what matters. There's a lot going on, and trying to remember everything. I mean, I sat on my deck. I was up early. It was like 7:30, 7:15-ish. I was out of the shower, and I was on the deck, and I'd made a coffee, and I was doing my show prep, and I'm like, I need more. I mean, 2 hours. I got to fill 2 hours of sports talk here. I mean, what am I going to do? And then I start counting back. I'm like, okay, well, I got 2 interviews. Okay, Peter's going to be on 20. He's going to be on for 15 minutes, and Turron's going to be on. Okay, there's 30 minutes. Done. Okay, I got a couple of sports updates. There's another 2 minutes. And I got 12, 24 minutes of commercials. And I'm like, okay, I only got to fill like an hour of talk. And I'm like, an hour?
An hour, yeah.
Like, I got to go in front of, like, on stage here and talk for an hour.
That's an hour's a long time in TV.
Tell me about it. You do 3-minute sports updates.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 3 minutes is
even on
fact.
Yeah.
I do want to say you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And Rod does make it look easy.
Oh,
he's a
what
natural.
A pro.
He's been doing it for so long. He just makes it look easy, but you are doing a great job filling in.
We got to do it our own way. I get that. So
yeah.
And
you're not Rod, and nobody should expect you to be Rod.
That's right. So I appreciate everybody with your patience as we have a little turbulence getting out of the off the runway here and into the sky for the week. Once we hit probably hour 2 on Tuesday, I think we'll be able to,
Right, by Friday, you're not going to be giving up the chair.
Yeah, you can unbuckle.
Rod's sitting here next
Totally. Hour 2, you'll be able to unbuckle your seatbelt and be free to move around the cabin, and we'll be in autopilot by then. But not yet. Craig Smith is watching. Yes, Fred Smith was Arthur Smith's dad, founder of FedEx. So, given every opportunity, still worked his way up in the football circles and now taking over the Atlanta Falcons as head coach. And Craig goes on to say, not waiting for shot 2, then good to go, or now waiting for shot 2, then good to go, hopefully. Been in a hospital at home for 3.5 years. Yeah, can't wait. I know, Craig, damn cancer, damn COVID, and go Jets. I said before the pandemic, when you were sitting over here, that we were going to take a guy's trip, and you're going to come. We're going to go to Nashville. We're going to watch the Titans. We're going to do that and invite whoever wants to come. And it's going to be awesome. So once we have our vaccinations and we're allowed to, and as we found out, it's wide open down there.
Yeah, and one of the things that in the last interview and just hearing comments from Craig today I would normally be at Mosaic Stadium on the sideline right now, or in Saskatoon covering training camp, rider training camp, CFL training camps. Supposed to be in a normal year, supposed to be underway during this week. So all this football talk has made me very almost sad to not be doing what I normally do and what we love to do is watch the CFL and watch the training camps and cover and hear the stories and
I know
and just the buzz of a new season, and it has me hopeful for August or July, I guess, when they were players were supposed to report in July. July 2nd is the date that's being thrown around for players reporting, but a lot of things need to happen, not only in Saskatchewan, but across Canada for them to be able to kick off on August 5th. I think that's still a very hopeful date at this point.
What's insane, and it's a great kind of case study on the mindset of, being in the spotlight. No CFL, we would be talking about training camp.
Yep.
Like in depth for 2 hours. It took us an hour and 45 minutes to bring it up once. That yesterday would have been the kickoff to training camp. We'd all be down there in Saskatoon, right? With our shorts on, in the sun, coffees in hand, patrolling the sidelines or sitting, on the benches for training camp. And we'd be in day 2 of training camp right now. So it really brings up the question. I think this is what we're going to face off about. The face-off for the Ultimate Fan Zone and the Mad Greek is, do you think the CFL gets on the field at all this year? And the reason I bring it up is, on Friday we talked about Scott Mull and his announcement saying that he says Mosaic Stadium will be full at some point later on this summer or early in the fall. And Saskatchewan is doing great. Just came off back-to-back record days for vaccinations on Saturday and Sunday. I got mine on Saturday. I'm on my way. Coming out yesterday saying starting today, so Monday, residents aged 85 plus and those who received their first dose before February 15th will be eligible to book their second COVID-19 vaccine dose as of today. So if you're 85 plus or if you got your first dose before February 15th, you can now go and book your second dose. So that's really exciting. And when it comes to the reopening Saskatchewan plan, we're at 74% of adults 40 and over vaccinated, 66% of adults 30 and over vaccinated, and of all adults 18 and over, Saskatchewan has at 57% of those vaccinated. And then we see in Ontario you can't go golfing, and we see in Alberta it's on fire, and BC is different, and Manitoba's had more cases, and it's not looking good. So it becomes really difficult for me to see any way in which they get on the field, because if they don't get on the field at August, even at Labor Day, and you push it back to, say, middle of September or late September, are you getting a season in that's worth playing? Can you play enough games to even play that Grey Cup by the 12th of December? I think no.
9 games would probably be the cutoff, which would be a sort of September. But Scott Moe said Mosaic Stadium will be full. When Mosaic Stadium first opened, it was not the Riders playing. It was the Huskies and the Rams, Canada West football. So me hearing that comment, I'm like, yep, 100%. There will be a football game at Mosaic Stadium, but I'm putting my money on it being the Rams and the Huskies playing Canada West football at Mosaic.
That would be outstanding.
I don't know if it'll be wide open full. Maybe it's 15,000, similar to what they did for the first ever game when they did half capacity. So it was a half capacity game where they just wanted to get into the swing of things and open up Mosaic Stadium. So I don't necessarily think the Riders will be playing the first game when Mosaic Stadium opens up. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, when we talked to Riders President Craig Reynolds a couple of weeks ago, there was no talk of a COVID vaccine passport to get in. So they aren't necessarily thinking about, or at least they haven't made plans to have a COVID passport to be able to get in, where if you're vaccinated, you can buy a ticket. They haven't talked about that to the point where they're going to mandate it. They've obviously talked about it, but they haven't decided to mandate that. So I don't think that'll be on the table. And the other thing that I don't think will be on the table, according to Craig Reynolds, is ticket prices being through the roof. They will be in demand, but he said they will be the same price.
So do you think they'll play? Do you think they get on the field at all?
No.
So you're on the same side. So we got to draw.
Yes. The Riders
CFL
have a chance to get back on the field, but I don't think the other 8 teams collectively all can get back unless if they want to lose a bunch of money, maybe every game is hosted in Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, and there's 4 games in each market.
Tacona Pally on YouTube says CFL will not get going thanks to the federal government's vaccine rollout planning. You know what? I'm much more confident about U Sports, the CJFL, than we are about the CFL.
Yeah, let's get a Thunder game at the.
Let's get a Thunder game. Let's get the Rams. Let's get the Huskies.
But the only way I can see the CFL playing in August or September is if it all comes west, all the teams come west, and so there's maybe the West hub is in Regina and the East hub is in Winnipeg. And
are they willing to pay for it?
Exactly.
The face-off for the Ultimate Fan Zone UFC is your one-stop shop for sports fans and your list. Visit the Man Cave, downtown Moose Jaw, or on Facebook and their new website. Check out the new website. You can order online. And for the Mad Greek and Moose Jaw, available for licensed dining, takeout or delivery. Head to the madgreekeatery.com for more information. And I'm going to see if we can stop there because we're going to Swift Current tonight for the black tie hockey draft in support of the Dr. Irwin Noble Foundation. Rod's hosting it. It's all socially distanced, and now that we are allowed to, but it's all spread out in small groups. So we're going to run that for them, and Rod's going to be hosting that tonight in Swift Current. So we'll see you there, Swift, for those of you who are going to be up. All right, overtime is next, and we'll get to all of your comments and put a bow on day one of Rod's week off here on the Rod Pedersen Show on Game Plus TV, Facebook, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Every pre-owned vehicle at Capital Ford must pass a thorough inspection, ensuring that your buying experience is quick, easy, worry-free, and just like new. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Pedersen Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back. No Rod Pedersen again this week. We're going to do a lot of saying that. It's going to feel old, but Rod's on his week off. But it's not really a week off. He's busy doing recovery work, so he's actually working, just not here for the week. I'm going to browse through this sports update. 2 more first-round matchups get underway in the NHL playoffs today. The Nashville Predators and Carolina Hurricanes get their series started. Carolina topped the Central Division, while the Preds were 4th with 16 fewer points. Later, the division-winning Colorado Avalanche hosts the St. Louis Blues, who could be without leading scorer David Perron. Carey Price and Brendan Gallagher take to the ice tonight against Toronto today. But it's not the Maple Leafs. Price and Gallagher are playing for the Laval Rocket in the American Hockey League after being reassigned by the Canadiens for injury reconditioning. Both players will practice with the Rockets this morning before facing the Toronto Marlies in a game later tonight. Gallagher broke his thumb back on April 5th, and Price suffered a concussion on April 19th. 4 teams are left standing in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League playoffs as the 3rd round gets underway today. The Val-d'Or Warriors take on the Chicoutimi Saguenayens in Quebec City for Game 1 of the best-of-5 series. The other Round 3 matchup between Victoriaville and Charlottetown kicks off on Tuesday. An NL East showdown takes center stage in the MLB tonight. The New York Mets are in Atlanta to face the Braves in a divisional matchup between 2 longtime rivals. The division-leading Mets are sending Taijuan Walker, did I say that right, Clark? To the mound. Taiwan, while Max Fried gets the ball for Atlanta. Only 3 games separate all 5 teams in the bunched up NL East. So there you go. Your sports update is for Ben Coon's G2G Energy Bars. Where are they here? Where's the G2G liner? Not on my sheet. God, I got to do more prep. I know, though, 8 amazing flavors now. You can use the promo code RPShow to get 20% off at g2gbars.ca. And for Red Bull gives you wings. All right, how much? That? I did pretty good. I kind of nailed that.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff says enough
less
of the
eyes.
Yeah.
Wings.
Yeah, a little less wings.
The sports update 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It keeps making me sad to talk about CFL training camp started, but the Memorial Cup would be going right now.
Yeah, it would.
This week.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? We'd be right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
This is usually the most exciting week of my, well, a couple of years ago it was when the Pats hosted the Memorial Cup and Rider training camp kicked off at the same time. It was just like the busiest of all weeks I've ever had in 10 years working at Global, and it was...
Isn't that something?
Something I dearly miss. I can tell you that right now.
Gregory Lee's watching on Facebook, says, hey, Darren, will you be watching the Euros in June, and which country will you be rooting for? I'll tell you that later. He asked about the Champions League final. I don't even know who Man City is playing, but Man City is going to win. I know that game is on May 29th. Be having a viewing party for it because didn't you know I'm a soccer guy, Taylor? I'm a soccer guy now. Have you watched Ted Lasso?
No.
It's Jason Sudeikis' show. It's on Apple, I believe. I don't know. He goes and coaches overseas in the Premier League and knows nothing about coaching.
Coach overseas.
So I am going to be the Ted Lasso of the CPL.
Oh, yeah.
That's my goal, is to be the play-by-play voice of the CPL team that rolls into Saskatoon. So we've been doing some inroads trying to be the Ted Lasso. So I'm getting into soccer, and our intern, Rachel, in Toronto, has been teaching me everything about soccer. So I'm a Man City fan, and Kevin Jesus in Edmonton at Global in Edmonton did an interview with Rachel that you'll see on the pre-show in the coming weeks. And he's like, of course Darren picked Man City because they got Titans colors, the baby blue and the two-tone blue. So that's about as much as I know about soccer. And this is more soccer talk you've had on this show today in the last 3 minutes than you've had in 486 episodes. So, so that's that. Taylor, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it.
It's fun.
You kept me afloat when I needed you. You're back on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll come back. Why not?
Great. Why not? So Taylor's back on the show Thursday. Jennifer Illingworth on Facebook says, great job today, Dupes. See you all tomorrow. Wayne Grollo, yes, great job, Dupes. Yes, thank you, everybody, for all the great words. Again, we got a little turbulence getting out of the runway here and into the sky, but we will know. We will be sailing smooth by tomorrow. on the show tomorrow. Kelly Rempel will be in that chair, so we'll be able to talk a lot of hockey as well with the Silver Fox. We'll recap tonight's games: Boston, Washington, Nashville, Carolina, St. Louis, Colorado. We'll look forward to the other games. Blake Nill, the UBC Thunderbirds, will be alongside Mitch Love, and Wade Minter, PA voice of the Carolina Hurricanes, and you. Thanks for watching. I don't have a pen to throw.
Toss it.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
How about that?